Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're gearing up to buy a new PC or laptop right now, we've totally all been there. You open up a web browser and suddenly you're immediately drowning in this chaotic alphabet soup of numbers. You've got the RTX 5090, the RX 9070, the ARC B580. Honestly, it feels like you need an advanced degree in computer engineering just to figure out what to put in your shopping cart. It's so incredibly frustrating, right? Staring at a massive wall of tech jargon when literally all you want to do is play your favorite games or edit some videos without your computer stuttering. So today, let's just clear the fog together. In this explainer, we're going to decode every major graphics card currently on the market. We'll cut straight through the marketing noise, explain what these parts actually do, who they're genuinely meant for, and most importantly, help you figure out exactly which one you actually need. All right, let's dive into this by laying down a quick foundation. First off, what even is a GPU? Well, your computer basically has two main workhorses. First is your CPU. Think of it as the brain. It handles everything, but it tackles one task at a time, just very, very fast. The GPU, though, the graphics processing unit, totally different beast. It is the ultimate multitasker. It's built specifically to handle thousands of simple tasks all at the exact same time. Originally, yeah, they were just for rendering graphics on your screen, but today, GPUs are the powerful engines driving modern gaming, complex video editing, intense 3D rendering, and, yep, every single AI model you're using. Right now, NVIDIA and AMD are the two heavyweight champions making these chips, but as you'll see in a minute, there's also a really fascinating underdog, Intel.
Section 1. The Unreachable Peak, the NVIDIA RTX 5090.
Let's start our journey right at the absolute pinnacle of consumer tech. Just look at that number. Yeah, you're reading that correctly. To get your hands on the absolute most powerful consumer GPU ever made, you're looking at a price tag starting north of $2,000. I mean, that is a massive investment for a single computer component. So what does $2,000 actually buy you? Well, you can run 4K gaming at max settings without the card even breaking a sweat. It actually handles 8K gaming effortlessly. And if you're crunching heavy AI workloads or intense 3D animation, this gives you the absolute fastest rendering available on the consumer market. But here's the bottom line. The RTX 5090 is literally the Ferrari of GPUs. It's undeniably incredible, but there's a catch. For most games, you genuinely won't even feel the difference between this and the next tier down. This card is strictly for dedicated professionals and creators, people whose time is literal money and who have the massive budget to back it up. For the average person, totally unnecessary. Section 2. The smart high-end, NVIDIA's RTX 5080 and 5070 Ti. Now, if you've got a premium budget, these cards are significantly smarter investments. You're getting roughly 90% of that flagship performance, but for just 60% of the price. And a huge reason why is DLSS 4. This stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling. It's NVIDIA's proprietary AI upscaling tech. And guys, it is genuinely one of the best things to have in a gaming in years. Essentially, it uses artificial intelligence to make your games look way sharper and run at a much faster frame rate all at the same time. It feels like absolute magic, and it lets these cards punch way above their raw hardware specs. With DLSS 4 turned on, these cards deliver flawless 4K gaming at ridiculously high frame rates, plus all the modern AI features you'd ever want. The price sits between $700 and $1,000, so here's the crucial takeaway. If you're a serious gamer or a creator demanding top-tier 4K performance, but you're smart enough to dodge that massive 590 flagship tax, this is exactly where you should be looking. Section 3. The mainstream sweet spot. NVIDIA's RTX 5060 Ti and 5060.
Okay, let's get real for a second. Most of us are definitely not looking to drop $1,000 on a graphics card. So let's step into the Goldilocks zone. Look at this price bracket right here, between $300 and $430. This is highly accessible. It doesn't absolutely drain your bank account, but crucially, it still gives you full access to that DLSS 4 magic we just talked about, meaning you can squeeze out way more performance than the raw hardware alone would normally allow.
For this price, you're getting a card that handles modern games incredibly smoothly. You'll have zero issues playing at 1080p or even stepping up to 1440p on high settings. It's not crazy expensive, and it's definitely not underpowered. Our definitive bottom line for this tier? The 5060 Ti is the absolute best value GPU for most people right now in 2026. If you're building an everyday gaming PC, start your search right here.
Section 4. The Powerful Alternative, AMD's RX 9070 XT.
Because hey, NVIDIA is definitely not the only player in town. To really get AMD's value proposition, we have to compare their software to NVIDIA's. So you've got NVIDIA's DLSS 4, highly effective, but it strictly requires their proprietary hardware. Then you have AMD's answer, FSR, or Fidelity FX Super Resolution. The huge difference here is that AMD's tech is designed to be way more universally compatible. It works across more games without needing lockdown hardware. Now, historically, AMD's software and driver support was maybe a step behind NVIDIA, and FSR is generally seen as slightly less effective than DLSS 4. But honestly, it has gotten so much better recently, and what AMD might lack in absolute software perfection, they completely make up for it with brute force. The RX 9070 XT delivers excellent raw 1440p and 4K performance, very often matching or even beating NVIDIA cards, but at a distinctly lower price point. Bottom line, this is the greatest raw performance per dollar on the market right now. It's the absolute best AMD card for buyers who just want massive NVIDIA-level raw performance without having to pay that famous NVIDIA premium. Section 5. The Underdog Budget King, the Intel Arc B580.
Next up, we pivot to a really fascinating newcomer that, quite frankly, shocked the market. Just look at that incredibly aggressive entry-level price point, $250. When this thing launched, it completely caught the industry off guard. For that rock-bottom price, you're getting solid 1080p and even some highly respectable 1440p performance. It genuinely competes with cards that cost significantly more money. Now, full transparency here, Intel is still catching up on driver maturity, so if you play a ton of really old legacy games, you might hit a few weird compatibility quirks. But for new titles, it punches so wildly above its weight class. Bottom line, if you're building a PC on a really tight budget, the Intel Arc B580 is simply the absolute best budget GPU right now.
Section 6. The Built-in Backup. Integrated Graphics. But wait, what if you don't even want a massive dedicated card taking up space? Well, the landscape for built-in graphics is basically split into two totally different realities. Standard PC integrated graphics from Intel and AMD are mostly just for basic, everyday stuff, like web browsing or watching YouTube. You really shouldn't game on them, with the slight exception of AMD's 890M inside their Ryzen AI processors, which actually handles light gaming pretty well. But then, there's the Apple M4 chip. The GPU baked into the M4 is just unbelievably fast. We're talking faster than a lot of dedicated PC cards. Because of that astonishing power, Apple's M4 absolutely destroys Windows laptops when it comes to creative workflows, like high-res video editing and rendering. But, and this is a massive but, it is not built for the massive library of traditional PC games. So our bottom line for this category? Apple's integrated silicon is an absolute monster for creatives, and standard PC integrated chips are totally fine for everyday tasks. But if you are a PC user who wants to do any serious gaming, you still absolutely must buy a dedicated graphics card. Section 7. The Final Verdict Cheat Sheet. All right, we've covered a massive amount of ground today. So let's bring all these names and numbers together into one simple, actionable guide based entirely on your budget. On a tight budget for entry-level gaming, your undisputed winner is the Intel Arc B580 at $250. Looking for great mid-range 1440p performance? Grab the RTX 5060 Ti for around $350. If you want high-end 1440p or budget 4K and you just want the most raw power for your dollar, go with the AMD RX 9070 XT at $550. For serious high-end 4K gaming with that amazing upscaling tech, the RTX 5080 is your best bet at $700. If you have absolutely zero limits and just demand the best for professional work, the RTX 5090 is waiting for you at $2,000 plus. And finally, if you just want to do heavy creative video work on a laptop, grab a MacBook with that built-in Apple M4. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to remember this one golden rule that never, ever changes in PC building. Buy the best GPU your budget allows right in the mid-range. Why? Because top-end cards always come with severe diminishing returns. You end up paying exponentially more money for just these tiny incremental boosts in visible performance. The true sweet spot for value and performance, it's almost always right in the middle of the pack. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on as you plan your own computer setup. Are you ready to build your perfect machine by balancing what you actually need to do in the real world? Or are you still letting the marketing hype tempt you into chasing those expensive, aspirational, diminishing returns at the very top? Match the hardware to your actual life, save your hard-earned cash, and just enjoy the incredible tech we have access to right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.